Good morning. Welcome to Training Wheels. This is a class on an open door, which was presented and founded by Cindy Krupp. And this Training Wheels class is usually hosted by Amy Heibel, but she's traveling this week as she was last week. And I'm David Barnard, your host for today. And we'll get started. We're going to get started with a visualization meditation. And it's a short one. It lasts about 5 minutes. And after that, I'll read all the titles of the lessons up until the lesson for today, which is lesson 30, which is God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. And we'll get started on that. And anytime anyone after the meditation, of course, has anything to offer, or just what pops into your head, it's all comments and questions are welcome. And if I don't know the answer, somebody here will, and that's always good. And just ask away. So here we go, everybody. So we'll start. Now, feeling the warmth spreading wrong way. Let's start by settling into a comfortable position. Take a few deep, slow breaths and in and out through your nose. Close your eyes if you feel so inclined, or leave them open. That's okay too. Inhale and exhale. Feel the rise and fall of your belly and the gentle flow of air in and out of your nostrils. Give yourself permission to slow down and be present for the duration of this meditation. Now imagine a warm golden light hovering above your head. This radiant light is soothing and filled with peace. Picture this light slowly moving towards you. As it touches the top of your head, feel its warmth spreading across your scalp, relaxing every muscle. Now picture it flowing down into your forehead, softening your brow. See it moving down into your face, relaxing your eyes, your cheeks, and your jaw. Feel the soothing warmth melting away any tension. Picture the light flowing down, reaching your neck and shoulders. Feel the warmth spreading through your neck and down into your shoulders. Relax any tension you may be carrying. Allow the light to travel down your arms, flowing through your elbows, forearms, wrists, and into your hands and fingers. Feel the gentle warmth relaxing every muscle. Now bring your awareness back to the center of your body. As the warm light moves down your chest, soothing your heart and lungs, feel yourself becoming more and more relaxed. Picture the light moving towards your stomach, relaxing all the muscles around it. Now, feel the warmth spreading through your lower back and hips, releasing any tension stored there. You're feeling more and more relaxed as the light flows throughout your body. The light is flowing down into your thighs, knees, calves, and ankles, relaxing every muscle in your legs. Finally, picture the light reaching your feet and toes, filling them with a warm, soothing glow. Now, imagine that this warm light begins to expand within you, surrounding your entire body. You're surrounded by warmth, feeling peaceful, relaxed, and safe. Resting in this sense of relaxation, knowing that you're supported by this warm, gentle light. Now, whenever you're ready, slowly begin to bring your awareness back to the room. Wiggle your fingers and toes and gently stretch your body. When you're ready, gently open your eyes. Now I'm going to read the titles of the lessons up to date, starting with 1 and moving on. Nothing I see means anything. I have given everything I see all the meaning that it has for me. I do not understand anything I see. These thoughts do not mean anything. I am never upset for the reasons I think. I am upset because I see something that is not there. I see only my past. This is one of my favorites. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. I see nothing as it is now. My thoughts do not mean anything. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. I am upset because I see a meaningless world. A meaningless world engenders fear. God did not create a meaningless world. My thoughts are images that I have made. That's true. I have no neutral thoughts. I see no neutral things. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. I am determined to see. I am determined to see things differently. What I see is a form of vengeance. I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts. I do not perceive my own best interests. I do not know what anything is for. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. Above all else, I want to see. Above all else, I want to say things differently. God is in everything I see. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. So, okay, we're going to start with the lesson 30 today, right now. And anytime anybody has a thought or an interjection or a question or something that happened today or yesterday, just raise your hand and come on down. For several months now, you have been hearing over and over that this world is a projection of your own mind. You have also been learning that it is possible to see, and that true seeing is what you really want. Seeing truly means seeing through your eyes of God, through the eyes of God. Because God is in your mind, you are unlimited in your capacity to see. That's so, I love that one because here in our body, with our body's eyes, we are limited in what we see. We can only see what's in front of us, below the horizon. Think of it this way. If we are in God's mind and God is in ours, then we must share a mind. Indeed, our creative power comes through God's mind. This is how we created this world, and it is why we cannot be separate from our own creation. True vision sees that we are not in the world, but the world is in us, or more correctly, in our mind. Our experience is always the effect of where we choose to focus the attention of our consciousness. And we have chosen to be preoccupied with separation. We spend all of our efforts in support of it. This simple choice has had enormous consequences, but it can be undone. Indeed, it will be undone because it isn't real. Wholeness is reality in each and every moment. Today, you will practice mindfulness again. Try to sit with this thought on the hour if you can. Simply take your seat or stand where you are and look about. In your mind, say to yourself, God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. Feel the words resonate within your body. As you look about the room, at other people around you, at the trees outside, or whatever is in your view, understand the words apply to things beyond your present range of seeing. Real vision is unlimited by time or space. When I was reading this, I put knowing is unlimited by time or space. It does not depend on the body's eyes. You are connected to all things in all places right now. In addition to an hourly practice, give yourself about 5 to 10 minutes in the morning and evening to sit with this lesson. Close your eyes, relax the body, and place your awareness on the breath. When you are ready, say in your mind, God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. Simply watch what thoughts come up. When a thought arises, make a note of it. Then repeat the lesson and go back to the breath. Thoughts will arise. Repeat the lesson and place your awareness on the breath. You should feel a sense of calmness and clarity in these longer practices. Enjoy them. So, just, the thing I got from this lesson is the ability to see, not with my eyes, but with my mind. And what I see is only limited by what I let myself see. In other words, there's no limit. I see myself sitting in a big plane, a blank, just blank, and it has no end. It has no limits, and I can see all that is, and all that is love. So I can see and be all the love that there is because that's what I am. So that being said, is there anybody who has any comments or things that has come to you or things that you have seen or anything that you would like to share with us today? Well, yes, Cindy.
It keeps coming to me today somehow. It started in my diet this morning. Um, I don't know why I hadn't just sunk into it, how miraculous this kind of seeing is. Just that, this ability to just this ability at one point in the reading you just said, just stop, and God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. Just be with that and feel it in the body. Just that ability to feel it in the body, or to be aware of um, the different sensations and things going on here as it relates to out there. While you were reading, there's an awareness game, Regina, in my head, but there's this activity that I often do in a practicing of presence, where I listen, not as much for the words, but for the awareness of when the words hit this sense of a separate self. So as you're speaking, I could feel the energy of the words land some here around here, and I get real involved in, like, how does that even happen? Like being aware of how the outer world touches this sense of a me separate, knowing that there is no me separate, just the awareness of that. That's the one layer of it. Like, but what is bringing me to this state of almost wordlessness is how that occurs at all. Just why, like, just the miraculous connection that is occurring between whatever I am, this sense of being a Cindy, and while everything I see. Like the fact that there is a connection, and that there's the ability to get intimately connected with the connection, and how that it's just like I'm feeling, I don't know if I'm communicating this well. There's an awe around being able to be with that in this multi-dimensional layer. Like there's that, oh yeah, here I am leaning against a tree, right? And Cindy in body feels like she's leaning against a tree, but then this awareness that God's in the tree and God's in me. And I wonder where we intersect, and being able to bring awareness to that point and not feel like there's like a gradient sense, but I can never find where one ends and the other begins. And that's kind of crazy miraculous, right? That I can hold this belief that what I am is not the tree, but when I use awareness to prove that what I am is not the tree, I can't. And that's just like, that's bringing me to this awe space. I don't even like how could anything be more fun than playing that game? That's where I am right now. I don't Thank you for letting me say it out loud, because it's this kind of, like, I love practicing. Like, why is it? This is an example that happens almost every day of the week, except Thursdays, because Richard doesn't show up on most Thursdays. There's something that happens here every time it looks like Richard laughs or smiles. And it happens in different ways, but it's something I consciously practice every day, and why I call him out. I have a real kind of energetic experience every time Richard smiles. And I go looking for, like, the point of that. Does that make any sense? It's like I energetically feel something happen here whenever Richard smiles or laughs. And it's more powerful when he laughs. And I have become really kind of involved in looking for the connection. Does that make sense? Like, where does that happen?
When you were talking about the tree and me, or you, and it's almost like it's almost like we accentuate the difference in our body mind brain, eyes, and so forth. But if we just think about it, there's a tree vibrating where it's vibrating, and here we are, and where we are vibration wise, and in between there's a melding. I mean, where it all kind of does this thing, and there's really no difference. In other words, some things vibrate higher, sometimes we vibrate higher, and sometimes we vibrate lower. It's like when I walk into a room, like in my AA classes, and usually at 7 morning, I can tell who's having a good day and a bad day. Just it's just a knowing. You can look at them and see some things, but I mean, you can feel it. And but the gist of it is I can feel it because we're one. And so I mean, and so I'm here vibrating, and they're maybe a little lower today. Tomorrow it might be the other way around, but we can feel it, and
Have
we
you
can
ever
know it.
gone, have you ever gone looking, like, have you ever gone looking for where that knowing is? Like, where do they become me and where does it switch? And when I say I know, because I have the same, like I know this, I know that Cindy lights up every time Richard smiles. And it's the truth. Every time he smiles, every time he laughs, every time he unmutes and says, man, I love these meetings. I love whatever. It doesn't even matter, right? Something happens here, and that's an assumption of here. Something's happening. But when I go to look for it, it gets all kind of funky. Like I
But
can't find where it's happening or where I become someone who's not Richard. It's the looking that is what's creating the awe in me.
and you're vibrating at one level, and there's Richard vibrating at his level, but but you want to tune in, so you just, okay, I'm going to just start vibrating where Richard is, and then it'll make Richard smile because you have that power, right? And so, Richard, are you going to volunteer, or do I have to conscript your service?
A volunteer.
Okay,
Hope
that's
you
better.
all in. Well, I I don't know what to say about that. I'm glad I bring that joy to you. That joy is a reflection of everything I feel at these meetings. I just feel very joyful when I'm in the presence of all of you. And so it's so easy for that joy to manifest as a smile or a laugh, because I'm in that state of mind where I'm just joyful being here. And uh, um, as far as the experience of oneness with everything, I don't think I'm there yet. I mean, I know that's true, and I know it, but I don't feel it yet. So I believe it. I believe it's true. My experience is oneness with all that is, but the barrier doesn't disappear for me. I know it. I feel it. Well, I don't feel it. I don't know. I'm just I'm just trying the best I can, moment to moment, and I'm happy that I'm here, and I love you all because of the happiness you bring me every time we're together. So that's all I have to say today.
All right. Thank you, Richard. Anyone else? Oh, Belle?
Hi, hi. This is it's wonderful to be with everyone. This is my first time to come to this meet gathering, and it's actually fortunate. I had surgery on Friday, so on my leg, so I'm having to kind of take it easy. So it's kind of nice to be able to join you all. It's really some things, appreciate that so much. And when we're talking about oneness, somehow I get that if I'm out like walking around and I see like in a shopping area, and you're passing people, and sometimes you look up and you connect, you just have eye contact with somebody, and you might smile. Somehow that there's no division anymore. It's just so beautiful, and I find it more with strangers because you're not carrying any baggage or anything else in your mind, and and then you pass, but that stays there, that sense of, wow, there's no separation. We're just, there's just that one presence, that same presence is just right here. So anyway, I love that. I love that, opportunity to connect with people that way. And there's, you can really sense that essence shining through. Just that little smile or that little connection. Just realize it. So thanks. So good to be here with you all. Thanks.
The other day, we have an athletic center in our city, and if you live in the city, you can go. Some things are free and some things aren't, but the indoor track is free. And it was raining or nasty or something that day, so I was on the indoor track, and I saw something, and I kind of saw it with my eyes, but I really saw it with my heart. And I wrote about it, so I'm going to read that if you'll bear with me, because it's easier than I'll leave something out if I don't. A few days ago, I was walking at the Monon Center. That's our athletic center, on the indoor track due to the weather. As I rounded a curve, I saw a man helping a young girl, she may have been a teenager, who must have been his daughter, wriggling out of her sweatshirt. And as she was doing this, he was holding down her t-shirt with both hands. It was just, I'm going to cry now. It struck me as one of the most powerful demonstrations of love I've ever seen. And like I said, I was seeing it with my heart. And even though there are no words to describe it, but here I am trying, and that's interesting. As they began walking, I heard to catch up with them. And I told the dad that his act of love, holding down his daughter's shirt, was more powerful than saying, I love you 10,000 times. This man got it and smiled his thanks, but I had already received all the blessings possible to be given by him and his daughter sharing their love with me. And it was almost like it was, in the top 5 things that's the best things that ever happened in my life. That was, I may not remember it forever, but right now it's like a 2. I mean, it was just beyond words. And here I am trying to present words, but it was just amazing. And so I wanted to share that with you because that was me seeing with my heart, not with my eyes. So thank you for listening. I may have said that yesterday, but I can't stop saying it. Anyone else? Well, I guess today could be a 30-minute session. We're open for another 30 if anybody care to join, but if not, I'm good with 30.
I'll just say one thing that occurred to me when Richard was speaking, and I think I have said this before. Helen Schucman would say, or maybe I don't know if many times or just once, that she knew that this was all true, but she did not believe it. And she would be spoken to about many things by Jesus. One of the things being when she was out looking for a coat, he would tell her where she would find the exact coat that she was looking for. Now, if she was, at least in her own estimation, never able to believe, even though she knew, I mean, how much more difficult, I guess, it is for us. It definitely is for me. Again, I intellectualize everything. I want to understand it with my head. And I would love to be like you, David, that I would see things with my heart. Then I go to what Dalai Lama always said, the only thing we need to do is just be kind. And once I was asked in a covenant group I belong to design a mantra for myself. And the first thing I said, I am kind, compassionate, and loving. And so that is my mantra, that is my goal. And if I could just be there at all times, I think I would be super happy.
Thank you, Josie. Yeah, when you was talking about that, what came to my mind is a mantra that I might have that sounds like a good one. Say, I am love. And when I write it, it's all caps. And it's just like and because I am that's what I am. I am love. And so works for, and if I just remember that, I mean, I can know that, but and forget it. But if I recall that, if I start my day with that, what a good day it's going to be, because that's all I need. I need nothing anyway, because I am love. So what is there to need? I saw you, Sandra, unmuting yourself.
Good morning. Would you close?
Morning.
I'm just asking my husband to close the door because there's noise out there. Good morning. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. And so there definitely, I experienced two kinds of seeing. Seeing in its broadest sense, like you explained, feeling is a big part of seeing. It talks about real vision. Real vision. It's almost like I used to try to see the world differently, like there was going to be some kind of magical way of seeing everything blended. I don't know. I don't try to do that anymore. It's never worked. But what does happen is I feel differently about the world. And it's mainly when all the barriers are down. And what I mean by the barriers being down is like our lesson, like we talked about yesterday with Cindy, when she did that paragraph from the manual for teachers. And we were talking about safety. So in order to feel safe, I didn't know I was doing this, of course. I thought I was just being a regular smart human being. But I had created a structure of safety for myself. And I remember way back when I did the 40-day program, Lisa Natoli talked about putting a fence around myself. So I had created rules for living, that I would follow in order to be safe. And what I didn't realize, that in these rules for living and in this way of being, I was blocking my vision. I was blocking it. The fence was really high. It was pretty impenetrable. And I could not see with real vision. But I didn't know any of that. I was just walking around in what we call the illusion. And the illusion to me is not seeing things as they really are. So where I'm going with this is, I believe that somewhere I did agree to come into this form and to forget who I am and to have a veil around my seeing. And that got reinforced through my circumstances from a child on up. I got programmed. So when I actually started to do these lessons, like Josephine said, it was mostly an intellectual exercise. And I'm good at book learning, so I understood what the book was saying, and I could even take a test on this book and probably get the right answers. But something else happened where it was no longer an intellectual exercise, and it just became a way of being. So in order for me to see without the veil, without the rules, without the prison that I created, I need to stop trying to protect myself. I need to let go of all the defenses, knock down the wall, break open the fence, and be free. And it's amazing. It's not that I see it first and then I'm safe. I have to let go of all the defenses and then I see. See, I was trying to be safe first before I let down those defenses. But I don't know exactly how it happens and when it happens, but it does happen when I'm just totally safe, secure in who I am, feeling the love of God and the beauty of life and the gift I've been given to experience this life, there's no more fence, there's no more need for any of that. Then I think the veil is gone and I see with real vision. And that real vision is not everybody blurring together, the molecules interacting, my body, none of that. It's not that. That's what the mind thought it would be. Instead, it's just looking at everything with love and appreciation. I'm looking around my office right now, the trees outside. I mean, it's just having that genuine, authentic love, not conjured up, but just real emanating and joy. And then everything has like a sparkle to it.
Thanks.
So
You
I
have
have
sparkle.
a question.
You have a sparkle, you have a sparkle, you have a sparkle. And I think that's the joy that Richard feels when he comes in this room. You're like all sparkly and amazing. And you don't have to be all blurred together as one, because you're one in essence. In essence. And I feel it. And I too, when I walk in rooms, can feel. And if I feel pain of someone, I have compassion. But I'm not like, oh my, you poor thing, because I know that who they really are. And they're just having that experience. And they're sparkling even in their pain. They can sparkle. I love that I can just like ramble on here and not know what I'm saying, and you all accept that. You just let me like blah 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 blah. But
you give us a lot of options to grab a hold of. But what do you think?
I love you. I'm hugging you all right now in your sparkliness.
No, it's just thinking when I shine my light on you, you can spark. I can see your sparkles. They were always there, But if I'm walking around with underneath a dark cloud that I carry with me, I can't see your sparkles. And
That's the
and
fence. That's the fence.
yeah,
And where does that fence come from? I don't know. But I do know that it's not something to be afraid of.
yeah.
And
The
not
other,
something to fight because it's just there. And you can go through it like a cloud. It's nothing, it's like,
it's like that lesson where we go through the cloud to see the light in the center. But the other thing is, oh, now I forgot. Now I lost my track of thought. Just keep talking. It'll come back to me. It'll be like Arlo Guthrie. The train will come back around.
I think Cindy wants to talk now.
Okay, talk, Cindy, please.
So may I ask a question, Sandra? And usually I ask questions that possibly have no answers, but was there a particular instant or event that moved you from your outlook using the intellect, the mind, to the emotional, to the heart, where things you felt and saw them differently?
There is an answer. The answer is yes and no. I'm sorry. But the yes is I had an amazing awakening experience, but it didn't last. So then, as I tried to understand and learn, I went back into my mind. But I always draw upon that one, and then more of them came, and more of them came very, very gradually over the years, to where now I can almost live there. So there is no formula that I can share, but there is a certainty that I can share. That when you have this intention in your heart and are open, it will happen for you. That's all I can say about that.
That's very helpful, Sandra. Very helpful. Thank you.
I love you.
Love you too.
Thank you. Cindy.
So, Richard keeps talking about how valuable these meetings are. I agree. And they are probably, meetings like this are probably the greatest tool. And this question was coming up like right around the same time Maeve jumped into my arms. And she, for me, is a wonderful example of that because, when I invited Maeve to come into my home in March of 2020, she was a vibration of fear. It took them probably 40 minutes to even grab her to get her into the cat carrier from the SPCA. She was petrified of other humans. And they were even surprised when I said I don't even remember where I gave her a new name when she came home. I'm taking her home. And they were like, did she let you touch her? And I was like, no. But she caught my eye. She was looking at me and she let me look at her. So that was enough.
Yeah, it used to be.
So she came into this house, and at first I kept the door closed in the back room. When the first time, like, I started to leave it open and she left it, she found my bed and she hid under it for a day. Like, it was slow and steady. And it took months, but all I got to do was be patient and keep a quiet household. And the fear dissolved. The fear dissolved, right? What we're taught in this work is that the truth is true. Everything else takes energy. Like we've often heard teachers talk about, like a Rupert Spira would talk about how if you turn the ceiling fan off, as long as you don't turn it back on again, it stops spinning. Lisa Natoli, when she teaches the same thing, she talks about, turning off a hot stove. Well, it doesn't cool down in a heartbeat. It slows down. So the choice to enter into the quiet stillness or the high vibration of these meetings, and then the choice to rest there, the more you do that, the more you slow the ceiling fan, and you get to the point, and I've noticed it because I've gotten to the point in this practice where I can watch that part of the mind that wants to create problems. I can watch it turn on, and I could watch it change the way my body feels. Not always, but often. And it's wild watching that energy and the pain and like it's me. I could watch it start to take over. And the awareness of that happening is such that I could see that it's a choice to withdraw back into the stillness and allow whatever is going to happen, but I don't have to identify. I can allow the fear to come up or the scare, whatever, and keep it temporary. So I have direct experience to know that the intellect needs the belief in duality, the belief in problems to solve, they need to be continuously fed. So it was Ken Wapnick that said at any point you could choose to leave the sandbox, right? You could choose to leave the sandbox. You do that every time you turn off the ceiling fan, and then just don't go back. It doesn't sound simple until you practice enough, and like Sandra said, it's easier and easier because we're practicing. But if you attempt to use the part of the mind that keeps the ceiling fan spinning to figure out what to do, I can tell you that's part of what keeps the ceiling fan spinning. So I don't do that anymore. I know that the answer is beyond the known, is the way I like to put it. It's what the guides taught me. It's not unknown. It's just beyond my current knowing. But I trust the masters. And one of Richard's favorite teachers these days, Keith Kavanaugh, taught me the same thing because he was a miserable son of a bitch. He talks about how awful his life was. And the resolution was to listen to Ken Wapnick like 24/7. I don't know how long he did it, but he got access to all Wapnick's audios, and he started listening and he wouldn't stop. 24/7 or something. He talked about for whatever it was, months or however long it was, he just immersed himself in that vibration. And that's this, to me, that's the same thing as turning off the ceiling fan and not turning it back on. And then his experience of life changed, right? So that's my response to that. We keep practicing. We trust the teachers, and we keep practicing, and we recognize that we don't have to turn the ceiling back. We get to the point at some point where we understand if we're turning the ceiling fan back on, it's because we want to, not because we have to. And that's what I got. Closing my hands, lowering my hands. And so much for you suggesting we'll only do this for a half hour, David.
I think when I do that, everybody goes, "Oh, I have something to say," and then they sign up. All right, Sandra. You're still muted.
I finally
There you go.
Sorry, I was going to say let Richard go. Okay, so I've wanted to tell you this for a while, Josephine, but my grandmother, my favorite person in the world, his name was Josephina. And what came up was, for me, as Cindy was talking, was something that I feel is that each of us is exactly where we're supposed to be. And to rest in that, relax in that, rejoice in that everything is perfect for us as a group entity, and everything is perfect for us individually. And to relax. This is a beautiful, serene journey. Sometimes the mind wants to make it hard and complicated and difficult, and I don't know why the mind values that, but everything is absolutely happening the way it's supposed to be.
If we let it. Yes, Richard.
Great conversation as always. When Cindy was talking about and Josephine and Sandra, I really resonate with Sandra's experience. Mine has been basically the same. But what really was a major shift in my awareness was in 2020, the pandemic. And up until then, I had about 27 years of studying the course and being a recovering alcoholic. And I really rooted on those two disciplines and was doing very well, I thought. And then the pandemic hit. And as a result of the pandemic, one of the blessings of the pandemic was these Zoom meetings. I became acquainted with Zoom. I joined the Teachers of God Foundation that was combining Course in Miracles with Advaita Vedanta. I loved it. I loved the meetings. Had teachers a different teacher every month. I mean, I really got into it. And my mind expanded immensely, and my heart expanded immensely. And that was the beginning of my really waking up to just letting everything be, whatever it is. I don't care anymore what happens in the world. I mean, it is what it is. I don't judge it. I got pulled into it every once in a while, but I don't really care what's going on in the world. My job is only to be the love that I am from moment to moment. That's my only function. So that's how I see the world. And being and letting the barriers go. I mean, my God, I mean, I still deal with fear-based thoughts, but much less than I did before I really started to open up. And so just opening up and letting everything be as exactly as it is has really helped me immensely. I mean, I don't question things anymore. I still analyze. I mean, I'm still an analyzer, but that was a skill I learned that was deeply put into my mind, and I see it as a blessing because it has caused me up until this recent with the Zoom meetings. I use my reasoning and my logic to get rid of my fear-based thoughts. I mean, if I could reason to why this is true, to a point where I thought I understood it, knowing I know nothing, but it reduced the amount of fear in my mind, and it made it easier for me to be the love that I am. So I just wanted to add that these shift in these meetings have really opened my mind and my heart over the last 5 years. So I recommend these kind of meetings. I always enjoyed the AA meetings or 12-step meetings because they basically did this, but they were specific about your addiction or your problem. But these meetings are open-minded, and you can talk about anything in these meetings, and everybody's loving everybody, and that's a wonderful environment to be in. Love you all. Thanks for letting me share, and thanks for all your love and all your loving sharings.
Thanks, Richard. Yeah, when Sandra was talking, and then Richard, and Rose, Josie, everybody, and Cindy. But anyway, what I was realizing that I used to spend, once I started becoming a Course in Miracles student, then I said, I'm going to fix myself. I'm going to get rid of this, I'm going to get rid of that, and get rid of this. But what I was doing was empowering all those things that I wanted not to be. Because if I pay attention to it, if I feed it, it gets stronger. It'll never go away if I keep feeding it. But if I just, but now, thank goodness, I'm at a certain age, I'm starting to lose my mind. And it's like, thank God it took long enough. So now I don't have to think about all that crap. I can just think about what few brain cells I have left. I'll just think and be love. That's all I need to do. And even though I can't find my keys because they're in the refrigerator sometimes, but I'm happy because I'm aware and being part of love. And I don't need anything else. I don't even need that because I have it. So thank you. Can we play our song?
Yep, I'm going to turn the recording off and play the song. I Love Us. We're meeting again in 63 minutes. I think Linda Joy is leading. I'm not sure. I know I'm facilitating, so I'll have the song ready to play. All right, I will. Here we go.